What is this? What is this? Who knew? It's some bash left brain, it's some bash right brain, right? Is that what they're doing? Oh. Un mundo contraste. Un mundo de contrastes. Obras do fotógrafo Ugur Kaluska de Turquía Urguyayane. Wow, amazing. Let's take a look. Don't forget to get sad with the music. Don't forget to get sad. So you have some bash here with this amazing knife. Look. Wow. And school, and apparently this other one doesn't have school, just under the threat of some bash knife. Amazing. And over here, no threat, right? Yes. You're being choked out. So which is better? I don't know, but they want you to believe that you are the one that knows which one's better. So, all right, whoa. Just can't wait to blast the guns and the missiles. Right. Just thank your government for just blasting and just stockpile and creating little tiny people that hold them and call themselves SEALs and soldiers and naval officers and bash seamen. Who knew? But oh no, they're the ones they use the same thing, but they keep you safe apparently somehow. Wow. So again, Sophia, Apollo, just holding up the torch, right? Who knew that a torch is a gun too? Wow, right? I mean, what is a weapon? She has spikes coming out of her head. Does she just relentlessly smash people with them, headbutt people with her spikes? Yes. And Apollo is just amazing. Look, fighting the wars of the world. Whoa. Whoa, right? It's a bash fashion show. And then a line of what? Immigrants? People leaving their countries because they can't, what? They're being just slaughtered left and right. But then we're like, oh, we're so fickle. We just help people walk in the lines and admire and adore their clothing and how cut and chiseled their physical features are. And hopefully they're all men trying to be women because that's what it is. Amazing! And this and that, but no, oh, the children and women, oh, split. Why don't you just show the lines at the supermarket? Any line, you bash. No, it had to be the line that will just make the most emotional impact on you. The most triggered thing that you will get. Yes, who knew? All because you worship this. Oh, yeah. You know, he's like, oh, praise me. And everybody's like, oh, give me food, give me water. Oh. And this guy's, yeah, put your hands up like you don't even care. He's just seeing his own worship. And now he's just like, yeah, I will give you whatever you need. Right? He's the unicorn store. We sell what you need. Exactly. Who knew that Bash, the counterculture of you name it, whatever era, is just this. Who knew it's the same thing? And just because you don't hold a rifle doesn't mean that you don't think that people should die, right? You think that those who are in power and just corrupting, what you think, they should all just die. They do evil things, so of course they just deserve to die, right? So then you go out and fulfill that and do the act of murder, and wow, amazing. So taking your own bash relative sense of righteousness, right, and somehow make it manifest in the flesh. Right, you believe in going out relentlessly screaming, huffing and puffing, banging pots and plans and smashing and smashing and smashing and smashing and smashing. Just yelling into some megaphone, some chants. What do we want? No! What do we do? This! What do we do? Nothing! Exactly. Because at these people, supposedly they'll say, at least we're taking action. And you say the same thing. And you scoff at those who say, wow, you guys are bashed. And these guys are saying, what do you say? We're bringing the change on earth. We're bringing forth a new world. So are these people. Who knew? And you say, but these people are peaceful and these people are not. No. They have no peace. They're at zero peace. They just calm themselves down when they sit down to get hemorrhoids, but that's it. They have zero peace. Who knew? Who knew? Void of any love. Void of the truth. All just following some past relative thing that feels good because other people in there are just temperature checking and pastry and blah blah circuit jerk until they come in your face. Who knew? Amazing. I always wanted a gun like that. A gun that could just play music. Right? Just the haves and have-nots. Right? What does this guy have that this person doesn't? An opportunity to just bash with little baby raccoons. That's what he doesn't have. Right, because he lives in some desolate place that's under construction. Well, the same thing could be said about this person. Just because it looks pretty to your bash optics and there's a little bash, bash raccoon there, somehow this kid has it so much better. No, who knew this child and this child are equally in the lie, being pushed and bashed to whatever, to wherever they're geographically located, to the bash that best serves how they will just bring in Groundhog day in, day out in said locations. So these people probably have a totally different quote unquote world view, world optics than this person, but the same world abuses them. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Right? Because somehow taking pictures is just so much better than blasting you with some cannon. Right? Image worship versus destruction. They're like, yeah, the camera, the one eye, the third eye, oh, and all this, and that, and this, and this, and this, and smashed. Oh, of course, they couldn't wait, right, to just hybridize you into whoa, this little white baby, and this other off-white brown baby is dying, even though he has crackers in his hand. Or whatever it is. But look, right? Who knew the sufferings of the world? You say, I did. I know how much famine there is. I know how many people die per second and this. You know every little stat, right? You know every little detail. And guess what? Yet still, Groundhog Day. Whoa. So you have it wrong. You are worshiping he who destroys you. Whoa. And you say, well, I believe in Creator, so he must be destroying me, and therefore I hate him. Well, void. Boaster, right? You couldn't wait to just either say in name only that you're a believer and then still bash in the ways of the world. Or do that within. Why does it have to be a boast? You can do it. Repent. Admit you're wrong. Right? And do images like this. What do images like this do? It's just like you you abuse a child starting from when they're young and all through their childhood into their teens or whatever. They're constantly abused, right? How does that happen? So same with this, right? Supposedly this healthy baby and this other child who's just obviously malnourished. I mean, look, the flesh is just eating itself now at this point. Skin and bones. So, in what mind does this and this coexist? In the same world, in the same earth. And you're like, well, it's just part of the corruption of the politicians and the money. Everyone just wants money and this and that, and somehow it's just a future. It's all based on hate, of racism. It's just racism. But I'm not a racist. And this, that, the other. Exactly, just hiding behind relentless names that you just pull out whenever they're convenient. Whether it be it altruist, humanitarian, this, or, I'm actually for diversity in this, but I'm against famine and just the abuse of human rights and this and that and this and that. And then you go on. Wow, all while nothing happens. It's just further defilement, further abuse. And then you're bombarded with images like this. All to just assure that you stay in that split state, which is the wedge of doubt that even allowed for it to even make manifest. Because some people believe this, and other people believe that, this, that. And you believe that it can all coexist in some bash, peaceful harmony that John Lennon talked about. Bash, 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 bash. What a shame! For truly everybody does not see and worship in one spirit. No, they worship in bash, multiple fractals of just derivatives of whatever it is they want. And that changes and what. And it'll evolve according to your worship of the light, and this and that and that and this. Wow. No wonder you're split. And then when videos like this come along, you're like, oh, and you immediately start crying or this or the other, and they immediately want to do something, right? You immediately want to do something because, wow. So you just go out there and smash and join some volunteer thing or just donate money or this, that, the other, this, the other, that. Anything but acknowledge your splitness. Wow. Right, so Lego building an actual, building or crushing with a hammer. This guy probably had to fight this other guy off to get that much Legos. And they finally agreed to just split it in half and just be equal, equal, equal. And awesome, amazing. Now this guy's just so much better than this guy, apparently. No. Why are you pitting? I mean, exactly, just keeping you in this splash, wedge that puts you against one another. Pits you against the other, and then all of a sudden, fight! Who will win? Kid in the coal mine or kid in the classroom with some Lego? Who will win? Well, obviously you'll say, this guy will win because he'll get the better job in the end, and this guy will die of black lung. Or this, the other, and just relentless justifications of why your answer that you gave is right. Wow. Oh, the sunset and just blast bombs flying on the city. Oh, some Victorian painting versus now reality of Bashhood. And just trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Because is this a little boy in this picture? And then they put, what is going on? Who knew? But no. Just emotionally strummed at this point. You're just weeping at this point. Alright, so just water, aquatic competitors versus somebody getting tortured with water or something, right? I mean, it looks similar. He's on top of boxes, or blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's some just fail video, right? That some Baj is probably doing some challenge. But no, you'll say, no, this is torture. Okay, then. So now you're pitting torture against the vanity of Baj of just swimming as fast as you can. Amazing. Right. But you see this, the worship of the human agility, the ability of fleshly accomplishments, of smashing through some liquid. And it blows your mind. You're like, yes, you did it in 7.2 seconds. Whoa! Let's do it faster. Amazing, right? Oh, wow, people left and right getting shanked, abused, you name it, right? So truly, it's not, it's implicit for the Bash apparent world peace that you say we're under. We are in a time where we have the most peace. This and that and this and this and that. Wow. No. Or that we have the most freedom, right? From yourselves, from the oppression of man on man. So we're the most, it's like the hand has been less abusive, and so therefore we should be grateful. Otherwise, man will come and smash. So they say you better love what these games that we give you. You better love this. I mean, look, do you not love the human ability and agility and ability to just entrain themselves with Bashhood? And train and train and train and train and do the same thing over and over and over. Well, who knew that doing the same thing over and over? Whoa. And they're like, okay, go do that same thing that you did over and over, but then do it at this competition and have people lose their minds. Yay! What a shame. Who cares? Oh, but people certainly care when this happens. They're like, "Whoa, why do we even do that? This is so archaic and so brutal." Right? No, this is so pointless, archaic, brutal because it's trying your brain to just worship false idols and false, goals and false ideals. False sense of what the human body is and what it's here for and all this and blah, 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 blah. Apparently, it's for you to just go out and smash. So, you believe and do as thou wilt, but then you say no to this. Wow, you are truly splitteth. Right, the guy that just covered himself in gold and bullets. Right? Because, I'm just blasting people with gold. What's the matter with that? I'm so pure. I'm so white. I'm just blasting them with all the gold. But then you have on this side, they're like, oh, buddy, no. We do the real killing, man. So what's going on? It's real killing versus Bash imagery of killing. Wow, who knew? Who knew? But it's just a costume. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong. Wow. Who knew actually? So you call this guy in this picture a costume? You're like, no. Well, clearly they're real bullets. Wow, it's not a costume. No, it's a costume. But who knew that in that vesture, in that costume, well, they go out and murder. Who knew that this guy is murdering you in a different way, right? Not putting a bullet through your head, but putting some bash worm of worship in your head that just makes you bow down to this guy like some god. And same with this guy on the left. He makes other people bow down to him as a god. Otherwise, he'll just blast you in the face. right? I mean, so what's going on here? It's not contrast. It's just the swarm ways, right? In the swarm ways that ultimately pit you, right? It's always gonna bash you and split you and say this or this or this or that. When truly it's, wow, do you see the truth? Any answer outside of yes, right, is the swarm. For if you see the truth, then that is your only refuge against the swarm that attempts constantly to split you. Find a way to just go in you and ram it in. Harder and harder and harder till you're just smithering. The friction is so hard, it's just smoking at this point. It's just chafe, just like making a fire. And now you're replaced. But you think, oh, I'm going to rise like the phoenix from the ashes. Wow, what a shame. Exactly, some bash, just hung over, drunk, whatever, and then actually somebody just got killed here or something. Or that they had to get down, for their life to avoid bullet shots that, straight ricochet bullets that are everywhere. But this guy, no, he lets all the ricochet demons just shank him. All right, so he's like, oh, well, obviously this guy's just in luxury and privilege, and this guy's in the actual war zone. No, who knew that? Well, fine, these guys are actually bashing, supposedly, and just smashing people with bullets. And this guy's actually, the guy in the zoo being whipped, tasered, you know, made to worship alcohol, right, and go on with his life. Amazing. And they're like, make something of yourself, buddy. Stop doing what we all do, but we all just hide it better. So hide it better, or I mean, just come on. Did you have to get a picture of you taken like that? Oh, how embarrassing, right? And they're like, no, it's hilarious. Oh, it's just hilarious. Blah, blah, blah. Because who knew that this is everyone? Okay, don't try and hide and say, oh, it's not me. I don't even drink. Right. Your drink is some OCD other bash pattern ritual that you do, right? Exactly. You're as defiled and as punch drunk as this guy. You just don't know it. You think just because somehow you stand on the image that doesn't look like this, somehow you're in the clear. Whoa, what a shame. Okay, something that you worship, and all of a sudden they're being led to their murder. Exactly. Who knew the Beatles led you to further worship death? Further worship the light, further worship yourself, so therefore they are taking you to your death. Who knew? Your inevitable death that you just say that's the only certainty, so therefore, oh, I worship death, and therefore I just worship my hamburger meat that just smashes chemicals into who knows where, but it's in and out and in and out and in and out, and friction, and death. Who knew? Amazing. So who knew that that's what you're walking? So there's no contrast in this. No, it's the same thing. Same thing, but these guys wore flowers, and this guy was barefoot apparently. Right? They're just wearing different costumes now, right? Different costumes, still leading people to their death, to their prison, to their captivity, right? Right? I mean, but no, they were just some poor bashes that just were musicians. Musicians mean nothing, man. Come on. I mean, a neuroscientist and a neurosurgeon. Come on, they're awesome. They're worth something. But musicians, come on, they're worth nothing. All they do is strum a little thing and sing some little things and bash, bash, bash. And well, come on, anyone can do that. Really? You're right. Anyone can sing. Anyone can strum and play an instrument. Yet these people are gods. So you have to understand that anything, right, under the sun can be used against you. Who knew? And ultimately, the things that you allow into you because either they appeal to you, you find something beautiful or interesting and this and that and this. So you're the one that actually goes out and brings it in. You allow it, you are the ultimate trader. You allowed the subversion. Who knew? You allowed yourself to be subverted. But here's the thing. It began when you were a child. So of course you had to allow it because what else can you do? You can't say to your parent, "I'm your parent. Shut up and stop doing that." You can't say those things. Your parent will just laugh at you, probably just smash you. So exactly, all because man believed the lie again, and is under the worship of Satan. Who knew? They worship the light fully. Do as I will. All the pillars. I mean, even in biology, the doctrine of self-preservation based on natural selection. By increasing your fitness, somehow you are in authority to decide who lives and who dies. The end. So, with that, who knew that the sorcerer would use every resource, every aspect of man in his perception that make union with Father, who knew that that would be the target to defile. So, in praise and glory, right? In worship of Father, who knew you can, wow, it amazing, right? You can make the amazing what? The harp, the lyre, the voice, right? Wow, who knew? Music could be made in worship of the Father. Wow, who knew? And it has nothing to do with all this supposed Christian rock or bash out there. No, who knew? For right? But instead, I mean, what were these guys pushing? Exactly. You don't even know what the lyrics mean. They're so mysterious. A bash. No, who knew it was all just light worship? Bash telling you to worship yourself, and some bash world love, and imagine a place where this, no heaven, no hell, and some bash you're all just the same, and some world peace. What does that even mean? This. Oh, exactly. The kid's like, "Why are you crying? You got some idol. Why are you crying? Right? Why are you crying? You just got some idol. Why are you crying?" He's like, "I'm the one that just had probably brain, surgery, and I'm not crying. I'm actually comforting somebody else." Right? So, wow. Right? Because he who's not like a child will not enter, right, into the kingdom, right? Because he's in constant denial, right? Denial of, whoa, I worship this. Whoa. So you're in denial of life. Who knew? And this guy's like, "Don't you remember? Don't you know? Don't you know?" So this is not contrast. This is just the same picture. It's the same picture. Because look, huffing and puffing and stretching, amazing. And this guy's like, "Okay, let me just grope you everywhere, make sure you don't have anything." Like, "Oh, gotta check all your cavities as well. Sorry, it's gonna happen." And they're like, "Okay, downward dog." "Oh yeah, I never knew my instructor would do this to me, but oh, it feels so good. Oh." And bash. Oh no, this guy goes to the boss, and they're like, "No, why our instructor? No, we loved him. He told us he loved us every time he sodomized me." Right, and all this bash. But again, trying to split you into haves and have-nots, or this and that, and this and that, and that, da 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 da. No, who knew it's the same picture, same halves. It's just the same halves that go out and kill. Who knew? The same halves that just go out and kill doesn't mean that, oh, there's halves and have-nots. No, there's halves. And then those who kill. There's halves and those who go and bash. Who knew? But to you, it has to be, no, just regular ass people out there. And then there's good people or bad people. Wow. Right? No. Man is man is worshiping something. So if you are blind to what that is, exactly, just keep doing what you're doing because you will, and you won't care. So for those who have ears to listen, I mean, listen, it could be nothing, right? You're like, oh, it's nothing, hamburger meat. No, it's not. You're worshiping something. And ultimately, you're worshiping something that's splitting you and splitting you, splitting you, slicing, dicing you. It's a slap chop. And you love it because it's only one easy payment of your life. And you couldn't wait to just sell your soul all for the gains of the world. Wow, amazing. So you're always in this bash, self help, that's the trade off. But Satan promises you that you can come to just rise like a phoenix from the ashes with self love and self betterment and setting goals and all this bash and this and that and this and that and this and that. All while you splitteth. And who knew the made manifest, or as you see it, is just splitteth, splash, splash, splash. You can't understand why it's so horrible. So you blame God. Wow, what a shame. Of course, again, idol worship. They're saying, look, idol worship, but then we just go bash life. Babies or cities. But who knew that this is the future that you worship? The Star Wars, Blade Runner, everyone's living in all these like slum cities type places, right? So what do you worship that. You want to live in that future because, oh, it's just so cool. All brought to you by those who carry out exactly, they're telling you, actors, all a bunch of actors. Bashing you with the image of that which splitteth you and just keeps you in an emotional state of fret and denial and some escapism, of course. Right, so some bash statue exists, and this guy's apparently in the flesh recreating something that's as old as time. Is this Jesus? Wow, it is. Look, the holes out in the hand. So they're mocking you. They're saying, whoa, man is the one carrying a man forward. Right? Oh, right. Splitteth. Who knew? He's like, we're the one that have to carry the myth of Jesus forward and all the past death and destruction it's caused because I believe religion just smashes man. No, man's worship of man smashes man in his own passion authority, dishing out some sort of claiming some sort of authority, but then boasting relative truth and relative this and relative that, blah 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 blah. But somehow they have it under control somehow because they're just such great wizards and sorcerers and gnomes and fairies and just elves in this bash, right? Amazing. Exactly, peace and love, and then bombs over the world, right? By some alien ships. Who knew? So you split it. You're thinking, oh, everybody's just making art and expressing how rebellious they are, and blah 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 blah. And this guy's also expressing how rebellious he is by showing what's going on around him. So spaceships flying around, it's going around him. Oh, amazing! And dropping bombs, 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 bombs. Amazing. Oh, they couldn't wait to end, right? Well, gosh. Because look, you're in the grind, right? The grind. You're reduced to something small. Who knew? Accomplished. You believe in Big Bang, just dust of dust and nothing, nothing. But somehow there's relentless other guys out there that just make you just one in who knows, one in nothing. And you came from nothing, but somehow nothing is something, and this and that, and nothing. So accomplished. Rub or cause to rub together gratingly. Yes, you constantly rub yourself and rub others. Friction, friction, friction. Amazing. Check. A crushing or grating sound or motion. Yes. Who knew? Who knew that you're always, tapping, you have some tick, your teeth gnash at night, you're just always constantly, a fret. Grating. Hard dull work. Yes. Hard dull work. Right? Vain work in vain. Right? So what is the work that you're doing that just relentlessly leaving you unfulfilled? You won't say because it means you're wrong. Exactly. You won't admit you're wrong. For everything that you're doing is leaving you unfulfilled. So therefore your worship of life is wrong. You have that which you worship is defiling you. Can you not see? Return to the Father. Accept the unconditional love that is, and the lifeline, the true promise, life everlasting. But no, you deny it. You say, well, I just hate everything. Exactly. Who knew Satan's your daddy? But go ahead. Just keep grinding out there, putting bacon on the table and some, who cares? It just as long as I have some dish, whatever the dish out, I don't give a damn. I'm just gonna get sucky sometimes, and dry spells. Well, who cares? I'll just whack it off to the images I see on my phone or on my computer. Right? Smashed. Why have we succumbed to that? Why do we accept that as somehow, oh, that's just what it is and just amazing? No! Wow. Wow. Unfortunately, that's why you're minced meat, right? Your hamburger meat. Yeah, you think it just got slapped on some bones and just smashed into you, and you're just some half quarter, 10th billionth ape or something, and just somehow you split it from one lineage, and there's a tree that you come from, the tree of life that somehow just split it and created all the little things that you see around you, and they just work perfectly together. Just like all the things inside of you work perfectly together, and just because you say you understand the chemicals and the pathways and this and that, somehow you know how all of you work. No, what a shame. No clue. Just because you can explain mechanics? Wow, mechanics. Oh, you think you know the world. No, the world uses your boast, right? Your pride in thinking that you know how things work against you. Who knew? But no, you're just kibble. And you're eating yourself. Oh, Soylent Green. Oh, right? Smashed. All because of this. All because you worship some bash third eye. Yeah, the third eye. Me, myself, and I, right? And all this bash. Yes, that's why you worship. And your bash higher selves and your lower selves and all the colors in between. Right? But I mean, what even allows for all that to even be witnessed? Even, a lot. Wow, you have no clue. You're like, whoa, it's just when I sit down and close my eyes and go into some trance and swim and also praise of all the galactic buddies and this and that and that. It's amazing. Wow, who knew you could see images when you close your eyes? Wow, who knew? Who knew you could supposedly dream things when you're supposedly asleep? Wow, who knew? And you're like, oh yeah, it's because the brain is just like a computer and it's defragmenting and this, and that. And so what you dream about is just what happened during the day and this and that and this and that. Wow, what a shame. Zero clue. Zero clue, zero clue, zero clue. But somehow it's your third eye and it's just blasting you because all the chemicals are the ones that induce dreaming and DMT, DMT, DMT. Go blast with the shamans down in Peru. Who gives a bash as long as they say they're shamans and they have some bash credential or they just look like one because, oh, you know what the one looks like. Well, go do it with them and they'll just posture you into the abyss. Who knew? Who knew? For they guide you. Who knew they guide you and they tell you, oh, there's monsters in there. You better be careful. This is the third eye. It looks like a chili pepper. Oh, yes. Hot chili pepper. Woohoo. Right? Decoded. 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 What? It's just a vagina on somebody's forehead. Wow. Look. Just blasting. Right? Amazing. And oh, just relentless masks, relentless masks, relentless masks. Wow, even this guy just loves it. Just sitting in a throne of gold. Wow. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Wow. And all the colors of the rainbow. Wow, that's just creepy. But who knew? Who knew a guy actually just smashed, amazing. He just had to. He had to have it. Look, he had to have it tattooed on his face. Amazing. Look. Yes. Inside Mahana, right? Because who knew that the worship of light leads people to, want to become the best, husband, husband to the land, in their husbandry. Oh yeah, I planted many trees, many fig trees and many nut trees, and I rebuilt the soil and this and all and this. And allow for us to just, make a circle and sing and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and just worship the light. Right, because if not your worship, if not one spirit that is worshipped, even in this small community like that, then they're lost. They're lost. And then it becomes about allegiance and committees and this and that, and everybody gets to do whatever they want, right? As far as like, oh, I wanted this project and this, so everybody gets, and this is a democracy, people, so we vote and this and this and this and this. So it becomes just the same bash that they apparently ran away from, right? Wow, what a shame. So who knew that Bosch? I mean, they made a Bosch Vice documentary about this Bosch place, but apparently the peak was in the 70s or the 80s or whatever. And then there's nobody there. It's just a few people, but now there's infighting and they hate this guy. Because somehow his ideals are just they don't work in the real world, and they're like, well, of course people are gonna take advantage of you and this and this. You can't just let anyone in and this, but he's just like, nah, man, it's just about loving your brother, man. You just gotta love him, let him in, man. It's just gonna be all good, man. You can worship whatever, man. I could just worship alongside me and just as long as I respect you and you respect me and this and that's it. Nothing. Wow. But then that documentary ends in like him just smoking weed by himself, in his Bosch place by himself. And they're like, yeah, guys. So if you ever want this ideal, know that it turns into something desolate, and you're alone, and people hate you. So it's almost like they couldn't wait to pick the worst example, right? And it happens to be in New Zealand, or I think whatever. But in some posh place that you would think, oh, that's where hobbits live, and oh, it's Lord of the Rings. Look, it's Gandalf. Shouldn't Gandalf have like all his disciples around him, and this and that and this and this? Shouldn't he be just in the Shire? Well, who knew that? What the optics they want you to have is that no, now this guy, everybody left, everybody just abandoned that way because they saw how flawed it was, and this and this and that and that. Right? Because who knew that those who actually so-called reject, the ways of the world, and then they want to go out and just live. So they create little things that they call communes and this, and this, and that, but all still within the jurisdiction or the bash, swarm of the ways of the world that's around it. So what does that mean, right? When the ways of the world surround the camp of the saints, what does it mean? You what is the camp of the saint, the beloved city, and this and that and this and that and that and this and this and that? You have no idea, right? Because truly, the ways of the world, even though they boast words like sustainability and permaculture and this community, who knew that in actuality, things as people actually breaking away doesn't happen. No, people don't break away from society. No, they don't. They're just somehow shuffled around, refurbished, and somehow just given a name. Commune. They're like, okay, you still have to buy the land. You still have to do this, but then maybe through some legalese and blah, blah, fine, you get this paper that says you're some, you know, entity within some foreign, body within the whatever, right? So it's still the same bash, and they probably have to, pay something. So somehow you still pay, pay, and pay, and pay, because who knew that? No. Why would they ever say to you, okay, this is your land. We don't say anything to you about what you do, how you live, blah, blah, right? Because we understand that you're followers of Christ and blah, 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 and live. And we'll go out and kill ourselves, but we won't touch you. Right? Who knew that nobody ever said that ever? Because the ways of the world just kill the followers of Christ. For a follower of Christ, in the sense, promotes, exposes the lie of what the counterfeit is. So no matter how small or what bash the commune is, the message is the same. For they rebuke the lie. But the world cannot stand that because they believe the lie. Those who worship the world, of course, worship the lie. So it's been a long con to just turn you against each other, right? All because the true Christian, I mean the follower of Christ, of course loves you. Doesn't mean they're not going to rebuke the lie. For they understand what it is to forgive. Love your enemy. They know what it is to accept and repent and humble themselves and admit that they were wrong and doing the same bash that you're doing. Because truly the the ways of the world is suffering and dying. So you who knew that you can just go and ahead and believe in the third eye and try to suffer less by somehow calming your bash, self in mindfulness in all this bash and bash and bash, but no, who knew it leaves you desolate still? And of course, people have tried endless models and ways to just somehow have less government and more community control. Who knew the hippies were? Wow, it's the same bash. But somehow you think you're so modern and progressive, and you're finding out new ways to just harmonize and organize people. Because you're like, yeah, of course, the hippie utopia is not possible. We live in a capitalist society, so somehow we just have to be clandestine in our anti-capitalist ways, and eventually we'll just create the utopia that we wanted, and blah 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 blah. Nothing. All you do is want to suffer less. That's it. You accept the lie. So you're like, okay, I accept, so I'm gonna beg to live relentlessly. What a shame. Wag the dog, right? What is it? Oh, who knows? It's a movie. Before we get to that, still with the third eye worship, right? Because what is this camp of the saints, right? You don't know. Truly, it's what I mean. The place of your abode, right? What is it? Truly, must it is. How can it not be? The swarm surrounds it. Always will, always has in the flesh, in the doubt state of awareness in the flesh. So what's the protection? The truth. But no, apparently protection is what daddy government gives you and all its promises. Like the Dog is a black comedy. Whoa. Produced and directed by Barry Levinson. And starring Dapash and Napash. The screenplay concerns a spin doctor and a Hollywood producer who fabricate a war to distract voters from a presidential sex scandal. The screenplay by Blah Blah was loosely adapted from Larry Barnard's novel American Hero. Exactly. Who knew a hero would be somebody who shapeshifts an image, pushes through? The ultimate method actor, shapeshifter, bringer of deception, control, manipulation. Wag the Dog was released 1 month before the outbreak of Lewinsky scandal, planned, and the subsequent bombing of the Al Shafi pharmaceutical factory in Sudan by the Clinton administration in August 1998, which prompted the media to draw comparisons between the film and reality. Wow, who knew? Wow, it's just coincidence, right? No, no, no. Oh, they just took the opportunity to make the comparisons of what was actually going on and just use some movie to criticize it, but somehow just treat it as a movie. Oh, exactly, bashed. What is real and which one's wrong? Where's the cop? Where's the priest? Oh, no, 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 gone. What? Defiled. Just manipulated. Mm-hmm. Right. Plot. Blah blah blah. Who gives? Bash. Right. Title. The title of the film comes from the idiomatic English language expression "the tail wagging the dog," which is referenced at the beginning of the film by a caption that reads, "Why does the dog wag its tail? Because a dog is smarter than its tail. If the tail were smarter, it would wag the dog." Right? So it's like what creates the moving forward? Is it the people or what the people worship and imagery and then the push it forward and this and that, right? So no, of course, wag the dog because now the tail is telling the dog what to do. Or distraction, right? Or the dog sees the tail and distracts itself and chases itself relentlessly in a circle. Wow. TV series on April 2017 are developing a TV series based on the film for HBO. Who knew? Who knew? Amazing. And all because what? Theater, right? Theater or a collaborative form of fine art, just so fine, that uses live performers, typically actors or actresses who knew, to present the experience of a real or imagined event before a live audience in a specific place, often a stage. The performers may communicate this experience to the audience through combinations of gesture, speech, song, music, and dance. Gesture, symbols, sigils, anything under the sun. Elements of art, such as painted scenery and stagecraft, such as lighting, are used to enhance the physicality, presence, and immediacy of the experience. Just deliver you, just blast straight to you. Whoa. The specific place of the performance is also named by the word theater, as derived from the ancient Greek, theatron, a place for viewing itself from to see, to watch, to observe. Modern Western theater comes in large measure from the theater of ancient Greece, which borrows technical terminology, classification into genres, and many of its themes, stock characters, and plot elements. Stock characters, archetypes. There are theater artist Patrice Pappas defines theatricality, theatrical language, state writing, and the specificity of theater as synonymous expressions that differentiate theater from the other performing arts, literature, and the arts in general. Wow, so theater is just on its own. Right, because who knew that they actually embody? I mean, they bring in, they channel. They're the channel, they're the interface. They're the interface that brings forth something that now you believe as, wow, it's real because they embodied it. Wow, amazing. Modern theater includes performance of plays and music theater, the art forms of ballet and opera, blah blah blah. They were influential to development of musical theater. Whoa, right? Look at all the types of theater. Whoa, drama, comedy, tragedy. There is having been an important part of human culture for more than 2,500 years. Sure. Why don't you try more, you bash? Go all the way back to the Sumerians. The first civilization, you bash. Okay? Theater has evolved a wide range of different theories and practices. Really? More like rituals, yes. Some are related to political or spiritual ideologies. Who knew? Political or spiritual ideologies. They just had to say spiritual because why wouldn't they say religious? Oh, spiritual because the mysticism, esotericism, blah blah blah, demon spirit cooking and all of it. While others are based purely on artistic concerns, some processes focus on a story, some on theater as event, and some on theater as catalyst for social change. They couldn't wait. Who knew it is all about this? Catalyst for social change. Who knew? The embodiment of some image that evokes you to just bash you and make you believe it, and it stirs you. It leads you down a particular empath. In it, he offers blah blah blah. The classic Greek philosopher Aristotle, in his seminal treatise Poetics, 335 BCE, is the earliest surviving example, and its arguments have influenced theories of theater ever since. Oh, bash. Making a count, right? Calls poetry making and in the context of includes drama, comedy, making. Oh, poetry, making, you're making. First principles and identifies the genres and basic elements. His analysis of tragedy constitutes the core of the discussion. It also argues that the tragedy consists of six qualitative parts, which are mythos, plot, ethos, character, lexis, thought, the outer thought, lexis, dictation, diction, melos, or song, and opsis, spectacle. Whoa. Right, so who knew the manipulation of embodiment of a particular, yes, channeling. What is it that they channel? The worm that enters and just allows them to bring it forth. Who knew? Right? The system, method acting, all of it. Right? Of course, the manipulation of what it is it that you allow to just enter you and you embody it, all because you believe it because of your trauma and just and you it's not just it's a psychophysical approach, and you are the character, but somehow you know how to distinguish between this and that. No, you traumatize yourself into just splitting yourself, and now you have a new identity, and that's the identity, that's the character. Yes, that's the one. You live it throughout the whole filming, and somehow you come back to being what you were before. No, you don't. You just somehow uncook your brain with a psychotherapist, and she'll just cook you back to just bashhood. Amazing. So who knew theater and all the movies and all the bash are used? And of course, it couldn't wait to tell you, oh, it just coincided that, it came out during the same time that the Lewinsky scandal came out and this and that and that. Wow. Amazing. But it's all just coincidence, right? Oh, yeah, it's just all coincidence, right? And they've been doing, right? They've been programming humanity. They've been programming, generations with an embodiment of whatever bash, narrative they're pushing, belief, a convincing argument that will bring you forth because all it's a beautiful apparition, and it somehow just slithers and makes you meander and whatever doubt you're already in. Who knew? All while allowing it to happen and you not question it. Oh, because somehow you understand it. You have empathy for the lesson of bashhood that you're being bashed with, but then exactly Stockholm syndrome. You have relentless Stockholm syndrome because the abuse is relentless, yet you somehow just justify it. And then when it's the real world and the contrast, well, you're like, then that's when you will lash out because that's what they use against you. Who knew? Return to the Father. Return home. But you know what it takes to do that. You must humble yourself, repent, admit you're wrong, forgive, overcome, and inherit all things. Amen forever and ever.